Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are in the shop. We will be in the shop for a little bit. Then we'll be taking the Corvette outside to go work on that. And that's simply due to the fact that we're not going to have enough room in here with all the stuff that we got to do the project that we need to do. So what we'll be working on today is actually mounting one of the C7 Corvette seats. This is the seat that you guys saw us work on in a previous week. You guys will remember that we did the competition seat back upgrade. But today what we'll be doing is actually taking the completed seat and mounting it in the car. And we're going to be mounting it in the car using this harness from Vetteworks. Now guys, this product is 13 months in the making. Not my fault, not the manufacturer's fault. Kind of a bunch of issues happened, and but it's been a long time coming. And if you order the harness now, you should be able to get it in a couple weeks, not a year, not over a year. So there's no one to blame on that. That's just kind of how this project went down. So what we'll be using is a adapter harness. This is the C6 plug side, and here is the C7 plug side. We're going to plug this into the floor pan, and the other end will plug into the seat. So that's going to get us the power to the seat so that everything will move. The other piece that we're going to need are actually these adapters. So this is a airbag sensor simulator, because obviously we're not going to have a side airbag. So we're going to be using one of those. And then this other piece right here, this is, I believe, the memory seat kind of simulator. And what that's going to do is allow you to plug in your seat, and that way everything will move. But these sensor simulators are basically needed so that you get no warning lights or any fault codes within the driver's information center. It's just to prevent all those errors. Now, the one thing I do want to say before we even get started on the rest of the video, this is not going to be the final install on the seat. So we're going to be skipping a couple things, and that's because the car is going to the body shop on Monday. Today's Saturday, it's the weekend, and we're not going to be taking it in with the new seats. I'll be just taking it in with the stock C6 seats. That way the body guys don't have to worry about any electronics, anything, goofing up. We'll put these back in when the car comes back. You guys will have already seen the bumper project. We've already been started on that. That's going to get finished up while the car's away. And actually, while the car's away, we'll be doing another video on kind of modifying the seats one more time, just so that they're finished out and everything is good to go. So the things that we're going to be skipping today are going to be the seat belt swap. What you're going to want from your C6 seat is this outer, the belt buckle. You're going to want that. Basically, it's take a bolt off the side. You're going to want that. You're also going to want the tensioner on this side. I believe there's a bolt you got to take off here. This will come off because this is a C7. We're not going to be using any of that. So we're going to be skipping that part. We're also going to be skipping those sensors we were just telling you about. We'll show you where to put them in, but I will not be installing them today. Like I said, the car is going to the body shop. It'll be gone for a while, and I don't want them to have to fuss with any of this stuff. So let's go ahead and get the car pulled out because we need more room, and we'll get started on the swap outside. All right, so we're going to begin the swap by removing the caps. There's a push pin that holds them in, and then you simply push forward, pull forward, and these caps will pop off. So there's one there, and then we need to pull the, I believe it's a 15 millimeter bolt. Yeah, so then there's going to be two 15 millimeter bolts there up front, over there. All right, so we got the two front bolts off. You can see that missing nut right there off the front. Again, two 15 millimeter nuts, pull that out. And then what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to set the seat on the door sill, and we're going to get this side bolt off for the seat belt. All right, so you'll see that we placed this moving blanket down over the door sill. We wanna protect the plastic. We wanna protect the painted frame piece right here, because this is all one piece that you can't take out of the car. We've got all four bolts out. We took the seat out, we popped it forward, lifted it up like I said. This is now sitting on the door sill, and we gotta get this seat belt bolt off, which conveniently happens to be a 15, same as the bolts. So, all right, I got the seatbelt taken off, just loose, flying around. I did put the nut back on because I don't want to lose that. And now I believe there are three harnesses we need to disconnect. There's the harness for the seats of the floor, so pull up on that, it's purple. All right, so that one's disconnected. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's another harness here. We need to disconnect that one. Simply press on it and pull. So that's two harnesses disconnected. There should be a third harness under here that we're gonna have to look for. The third harness that we need to look for, I believe, is going to be the airbag harness, and that is buried somewhere under the seat. So like I said, there's 3 connectors that we need to pull off. There's the airbag sensor, and now we should be able to remove the seat from the car. And also, don't forget to disconnect the battery from the car, because when we start messing around with airbags and stuff, you don't want those things popping off. There you go. We have 1 seat out of the... All right, you'll see that we have the seat ready. Got the sill covered up with a moving blanket again, and we have already actually plugged in the adapter harness. I figure it'd be slightly easier to try to get the harness in than plugged into the floor when we're done. And now would also be a good time if you're going to put in the airbag simulator, plug that in too. All right, guys, we have the C7 competition seat in the car. It's not mounted yet. Obviously, we need to put the bolts down and getting all that straightened up. But I did manage to get that adapter harness plugged in up under the front. You're really not going to be able to see it. Well, there's part of it. That adapter harness basically plugs into the very front of the seat. So now that we've got that harness plugged in, you know, we can obviously move the seat. And kind of what we were talking about earlier, when you do the final conversion, you're going to take this seat belt part out, because the way the C6 and C7 seat belts are mounted, they're a little different. The C6 seat belts actually mount to the seat itself, so you'll do that. The C7 kind of just had a loop here, and this can pull out. So there's a bolt back here. I forgot the size of it. You guys can actually go back and watch the BonecrrusherSS safety harness install, and we actually had to take that bolt off, and the seat belt can come out. So what we'll do is we'll pop the back of the cover off, swap the seat belt over when we do the final install, and we'll remove the C7 part right here. And also, like I said earlier, you're going to want to use the seat belt buckle and all the wiring from the C6. You're not going to want to use the C7 stuff. As you guys just saw from the panning shots, we have the seat fully finished being installed. Actually, even with the roll cage in here, everything is pretty comfortable. I will say this, from the 2011 and newer C6 seats, there's a lot more lumbar support. It's a lot more tight here, so if you're a plus size person, not that I'm skinny myself, if you're a larger person, you may not like these seats. That's just kind of my initial observation. Right now, I'm fully scooted forward to where I'd be sitting, and right now, it's pretty comfortable. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm really gonna enjoy these seats. The other difference between this seat and the C6 seats, the C6 seats had a much plusher, more softer pad on the bottom. The back is about the same. The back actually seems tighter on this. Not in foam, but, you know, like I said, just the lumbar support, this region right here, this part right here is tighter. That's the number one difference. The second is the seat bottom, I can tell, is, you know, this is kind of old. It's not new. When I redid those C6 seats, I actually got new foam for the bottom, and then they sold this like extra cushion pad. I put that in there, so that's why those really feel almost like a recliner compared to this. The bottom's a little bit more tight. But if I ever really need to, I could probably buy the same kit, if not a similar kit that I bought for the C6 seats, and put them underneath the C7 seat bottom, under the cover. Well, actually, you'd have the foam, the seat foam, and then the cover. I think that might work. So that might be some difference we do in the future. But another thing I just noticed, without having a D-shaped wheel, it's kind of hard to get in here. So when I get in, I just push the tilt column up and gets it out of the way. That's another thing you might want to do if you do a C6 conversion, is get a flat bottom steering wheel, just so it's easier to get in and out of the car. Like, you literally could not ask for a simpler install. It was plug and play. I plugged one end into the car, one end into the seat, you know, slid everything in. I put those 4 bolts back in, and we're good to go. Now, before we end the video, the last thing I just thought of was the heated and cooling seats. I have not seen a solution for the heated seat, but I have seen people wire up a switch for the cooling seats. So if all I have to do is add 2 pins to those, you know, to the C7 side, to the C6 side, that's real simple. Then wire in a switch. I'll probably put it down here. I'll probably put a button down here in the switch console, and that will turn on the cooling seat function But like I said, that's for another video. We've got to actually do other modifications to the seats before we do the final install. And we might do that as part of that project or do a separate video for that. I'm just not sure. And on that note, we're actually going to end today's video. If you guys want to see the bumper updates, you want to see more seat updates, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, and make sure you hit that like button down below because that always helps the channel. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out the links down below. I'll have a link down to Vetteworks. And make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.